It's Uruguay here in those familiar sky blue shirts, attacking from right to left. Can they build on that opening draw, that 2-2 draw against Mexico? Ecuador too know that they need to win here really to have any chance of making progress. Third place won't really be good enough for them. Only the best two third place countries will make it through to the last 8. And at the moment, with a goal difference of -5, you have to say that Ecuador aren't favourites. But it is a much more positive lineup. Delgado, who was a big disappointment when he played in England with Southampton, but who has a terrific scoring record at international level. 55 appearances for his country, 25 goals. And of course he scored the solitary goal after coming on as a substitute against Argentina.
Be interested to see how Ecuador actually respond, crushing defeat. Some team building has obviously gone on over the last couple of days from their point of view. I think the question begs to be asked as well as how poor were they and how good were Argentina? We shall find out.
Hatton in the studio has already mentioned that he sees Argentina as possible winners of the World Cup in 2 years' time. Uruguay at the moment will do well to qualify. As they played in Japan and Korea in 2002, didn't progress beyond the first stage, however. Put out with France, the group that included Denmark and Senegal. Here is Forlan. By Chala, who, like Delgado, played in England and Southampton. Just gone out of play on that far side. Argentina so dominant against Ecuador in the opening game, although it was 1-1 for a time. Then Saviola of Barcelona hit a hat-trick inside 15 minutes. Ecuador beaten 6-1. Uruguay's opening game against Mexico was eventful. Late equaliser by Paulo Montero, the skipper, who's returning to international football after 2 years out. A draw achieved after their substitute Richard Morales had been sent off. Varela to clear. Varela and Dario Rodriguez, who both play in Germany with Schalke. By Pusa.
Be interested to see if De La Cruz can get forward tonight, Tony. Against Argentina, he was really forced onto the back foot. They were mauled, weren't they? And he didn't really have the chance to show some of his attacking flair. He'll be hoping tonight to be able to get into the advanced areas down that right-hand side for Ecuador.
And no shortage of experience at the back for Ecuador. Hurtado, the number 3, plays his club football in Mexico, has 112 international caps, vastly experienced even at the age of 29. Both he and Giovanni Espinosa were cruelly exposed at times against Saviola and Argentina. And by Sosa. De La Cruz to head clear. By Becerra. Becerra, the defender, right back who plays for Peñarol in Uruguay. Actually scored the goal that secured the title for his club side. It's Nacional in the deciding fixture. Hurtado there to the rescue. Don't be confused by the names on the backs of the shirts. First names or Christian names, the order in Ecuador.
Excellent defending there by Hurtado. Didn't watch the man, just kept his eye on the ball, went with his runner.
Forlan squinting into the sunshine. Shadows just beginning to lengthen. Early evening in Peru. Varela. Just taken wide there by Cleber Chala. Forward by Riasco. Wide Charlie. Here's Ulysses de la Cruz, who we mentioned plays his club football in England now with Aston Villa. Previously, of course, with Hibernian in Scotland. Riasco. Fairly hefty challenge by Paulo Montero, but I suppose you expect that because he has a reputation.
He certainly wasn't going to pull out of the challenge, was he? It was a poor ball, really, by Chala. Underhit it back to Riasco. Montero, really, what he was doing that far forward, I don't know, because really, you know, you'd expect him to be tucked in alongside his fellow centre-half. Because while he was entitled to go, but went over the ball. Could have been nasty. That standing foot would have had the weight going through it.
Well, he doesn't have the best disciplinary record in Serie A, the Juventus central defender. And it is a yellow card for the skipper, who tonight wins his 50th cap for Uruguay. Hasn't played for Uruguay since the last World Cup. He had his differences with the coach, Carrasco. And he's been given another chance by Passati, who almost pleaded with him to return to the fold. And again by De La Cruz. This is promising. Delgado breaking clear. It does give them an extra option in attack. And here come Uruguay. Misplaced pass by Dario Silva. Uruguay just struggling to find any real fluency. Christian Rodriguez, who does like to get forward down the left-hand side.
It's a cagey start by both teams, isn't it, Tony? I think, you know, obviously they both need the victory, but certainly both the first, 8 minutes, a little afraid of losing the game as well.
Ecuador lose there, surely out of the competition in effect, even though they have one game remaining. The fixture is against Mexico, but they do need a point, if not 3.
Pretty slow the pitch, isn't it? Lively again, a lot of check on it. It's not easy to play, I think. Take a little while to get a feel for it. It's a very slow pitch, hard to move the ball about.
The conditions far more favourable than they were last night when the humidity was up to 90%. It's been a cooler day in Peru.
You mentioned Delgado as well. I think he is an option, isn't he, for Ecuador? He's big, strong. You know, they can play a more direct game when they have to. Uruguay really are forced into playing that passing game. Don't have the strength really that Delgado offers Ecuador for themselves.
De La Cruz again. Haven't seen too much so far from Alex Aguinaga. Distinctive by his long ponytail. Sosa. Confident under pressure. Kusa. It's another opportunity, but the attack just peters out. Important that Uruguay start to rebuild, really, after such a dreadful start to the year. They lost their opening 4 games this year. They were beaten in a friendly by Jamaica. Then they crashed in World Cup qualifying to Venezuela. They lost 3-1 to Peru and 5-0 to Colombia. It was their last fixture just at the beginning of June. World Cup qualifying in South America is a long process. They started playing back in September last year. Just digging the ball out towards Dario Rodriguez. Best remembered perhaps for a stunning goal he scored for Uruguay at the last World Cup against Denmark. Barbat, who's in goal for Uruguay, only gets his chance because the first choice keeper is currently out injured. Fabian Carini, who plays his club football in Belgium, just recovering from a knee operation. Barbat first played for Uruguay back in 1992, and he had to wait until last year for his recall. Pusa. On the way through for Christian Rodriguez. Mendes on the bench for the opening game against Argentina. Ecuador has made 3 changes. Delgado has come in, Mendes has come in, as has Alex Aguinaga. Uruguay, as we mentioned, are unchanged.
It's got to be first 12 minutes, isn't it? Really struggling to get any sort of flow, any passing, any movement to the game. I suppose Ecuador really have got every right to try and play their way into this game, and certainly the 2 centre-halves, Hurtado and Espinosa, will be pleased not to have to deal with the movement and the passing that they had to face against Argentina, that is for sure.
Fasadi said that he didn't want put any of his European-based players under any pressure at this stage of the year, knowing full well that they'd just been through a long season in Europe. He had a training camp in Madrid back in May when 31 players turned up. It just shows how now it is very much a global game. But of course Diego Forlan of Manchester United said he wanted to return to South America to play in this tournament. Lack of first team opportunities in the Premiership and in England. He wanted to return home, as it were, to build up his sharpness ahead of what will be a Premiership season starting in just under a month's time.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to obviously get your sharpness, coming into a new season in Europe, and also for a lot of these players, the real money is in Europe. It's a chance also to put themselves in the shop window.
That's certainly the case for Juan Martin Parodi, who's on the bench here for Uruguay. He is 29 now, and he's only just recently been included in the international squad. He played in club football in Uruguay for the best part of 10 years, didn't get a look in. Then he decided to make his way to Europe, pitched up in Greece, and was suddenly in the international squad. Uruguay arrived at these championships under something of a cloud. There was a dispute about money. Players weren't happy with the bonuses they were being offered or their daily allowances. Hurtado's clearance. The players were offered £22 a day allowance. They said they weren't happy with that arrangement, even though the federation said we just haven't got any more money. Cruz gives away the free kick. As a Boca Juniors follower. Of course, next on here.
We had the better of the possession, just about Uruguay, but not really able to find any real penetration to the game. Made anything with it.
Sosa there with Forlan, and by Christian Rodriguez. Awkward bounce there, which very nearly deceived Ibarra from the header which came in from Sosa. Pitch isn't the best. Goalkeeper deciding to stay firmly on his line. Abrago. Won by Aguanaga. Ecuador were beaten by Mexico in a semi-final penalty shootout in 1993 when Aguanaga actually played, and they beat Uruguay on the way. It's highly unlikely that they'll feature in the semi-finals here in Peru.
He's been a spectator, hasn't he? Up to this point, certainly Aguanaga. Need to get him on the ball, need to get some balls fed in. He likes to come short, turn, face up, and then play the ball in behind the last defender for Delgado. But they haven't really played well enough. They had good enough possession further up the field, Ecuador, to be able to get him involved.
Just sense that the Uruguay are now starting to take charge. Delgado. Aguanaga. Delgado once more. With a careless pass, as was that one. Forlan. Just unable to work the ball through to Carlos Bueno there. Sunshine giving our technical team in South America one or two problems. Now the picture is much clearer. Will it be any clearer in Group B at the end of this evening? Uruguay against Ecuador. It's Argentina against Mexico next.
Since just watching Forlan, Tony, he gets a little frustrated at times. I don't think maybe some of the players around him do him a favour. He takes up good positions, they don't see him early enough, and sometimes he's actually on his way to join people and their touch lets them down. You can see with his body language at times he gets a little frustrated. He's used to playing now and in Europe, isn't he, with Manchester United, with excellent players around him.
And a couple of great opportunities in the first couple of minutes of the opening game against Mexico. He was also substituted in that fixture. The goal would boost his confidence no end. Charles Cross is knocked aside by Dario Rodriguez. Now about barking out the instructions. Sure, it was a handball then. Will be a throw in. Sticking close to Delgado. That just about sums up Ecuador in both this game and this tournament.
That's the first kick he's had, really, Aguanaga. And I think him and the likes of Forlan are so reliant on service, Tony. You know, they're the ones that take up positions just behind the front one or two, and they need people to be able to see them, feed the ball in with the right weight up the right side. And as we've seen in the first 20 minutes, neither of them really have had decent service that they can either stop or let run. And when it does go into them, when they've got alternatives and options around them, every Argentinian player that received the ball the other night, he had 3 and 4 options. And if you look at these players at the moment, just the obvious one is on for them. It's easy to read and easy to pressurise when the ball comes to you.
De La Cruz always prepared to drive forward. Can't get away from Dario Rodriguez, having skipped past Christian Rodriguez. Cruz is at his 4th Copa America. He's played in every single game. That's some achievement. Cruz might have wondered if he'd have been in the starting lineup for this game, having been substituted when Ecuador were thrashed by Argentina. Coach decided in the end to make 3 changes. Cruz not one of them. Delgado through the middle, and Granada offering support, and we've got Chala now down the right-hand side trying to give De La Cruz a little bit of help. Cristian Rodriguez, the number 11 for Uruguay, was an outlet for them in that opening fixture against Mexico. By Tenorio. Tenorio plays for the Barcelona club. Substituted before half-time in that opening game. And it was a tactical switch. Montero with a free kick. Getting ready for what many here consider the big one. Mexico against Argentina. This is a stadium that holds just about 25,000.
Scrappy affair, nervous affair as well, isn't it? Yeah, I think the game's there to be won. I think, certainly from Ecuador's point of view, they can actually look at getting De La Cruz down this right-hand side. I'm sure that, it's the team really who actually are more adventurous in their approach that will end up winning this game. Certainly De La Cruz down the right-hand side. There's an avenue where you can get behind people and then whip balls into the box. At the moment, everything's straight and it's in front of the opposition defences, and they're dealing with it very easily at the moment.
Hurtado, who tried a little variation. The ball from right to left. Obregon. De La Cruz. Cristian Rodriguez. By Bueno. Easy game for Ibarra.
I think Forlan is shouting at him there. He needed to have a touch of that, and he had Forlan over to his right, to his one-on-one on the edge of the box. And again, that frustration was evident there from Forlan.
Goal scorers against Mexico. He's got a terrific record at international level. He's only just recently come into the squad. 4 goals in 9 games. Tenorio. De La Cruz. Tenorio once more. 4 forward here for Ecuador. Too long for Yasco, who was unable to react quickly enough. Away by Montero. Still rather aimless though, isn't it, Alvin?
Yeah, they're just lacking a little courage. It's not an easy pitch. You can see the ball's bobbling about. And I say it's when it's on its way to you, you've got to keep your eye on it all the way. When any ball is played over the top, you've got to wait for it to come down. That's giving the defenders a chance to put the attackers under pressure. And you can see that both defences at the moment are definitely on top in this game. I think it needs a goal, doesn't it, to open it up.
11 goals between them in the opening fixtures in Group B. 6-1 winners over Ecuador, 2-2 between Uruguay and Mexico.
I think certainly the Ecuador coach Gomez will be more than happy to see a clean sheet there at the moment after the last game. It's only 25 minutes, no goals against. That'll please him.
Despite that defeat, they're still 5th in qualifying for the World Cup in South America. You might call an average record. They've played 7, won 3, lost 3, drawn 1. But they did win their last 2 games in June. Bolivia 3-2 and Colombia 2-1, and they actually go to Uruguay on the 5th of September. That is their next World Cup qualifying fixture.
Foul there from Chala, but you know, De La Cruz has just gone down the right-hand side there. Hasn't put a great ball in the box, but there was only the one target there, only Delgado in there to make anything of a decent ball that may have come in. And it shows a lack of adventure, doesn't it? You know, in terms of getting bodies into the danger areas. I think both, like I say, both sides at the moment are just overcautious.
Don't forget, later tonight we have that game, Argentina against Mexico. Argentina 6-1 winners in their opening fixture. Mexico, of course, who drew 2-2 with Uruguay. Another long, aimless pass. No one was then able to stamp their authority on midfield. No one able to provide a spark of inspiration.
It's crying out for maybe a wide player, isn't it? You know, somebody who's going to run with the ball, take somebody on, go past a defender and make something happen.
There's a massive clearance. As yet, Ibarra, apart from that one header from Tuso, untroubled the Ecuador goalkeeper. There's no doubt that Fossati, the new coach, is delighted to have Montero back in the squad. He feels that his presence will to stiffen up the defence. It's a defence which in World Cup qualifying has so far conceded 19 goals in just 7 games. Mendes with the foul. And it'll be a throw into Ecuador. Stop-start throughout this first half. There's a decent ball by Forlan. It's a corner.
He's got some nice little touches, Forlan. Again, a little reverse ball into the side of the penalty area there, but again, the delivery in is just thrown in there, no real thought about it.
Silva inside the 6-yard area. Forlan also in there. Driven in by Rodriguez. Oh, the goalkeeper's nowhere near it. Montero diving in there. Montero has scored that late equaliser against Mexico. Came charging in then and very nearly, unexpectedly, got his second goal of this Copa America. Well, what was the goalkeeper doing?
Totally misjudged the flight, didn't he? Ibarra was nowhere near it. It was a good ball played in by Rodriguez, but really he should have been able to judge that flight, and I think it probably took him by surprise, Montero. Because really, any sort of connection there, you would have thought it was easier to score than this.
Terrific ball by Delgado to pick out Chala. Is there to be any response here from Ecuador? Montero with a header clear. Varela sliding in to deny Aguinaga. Delgado is judged to be offside. Well, we said it needed a goal. Maybe it just needed a chance like this. Well, it almost came to him too quickly.
Yeah, I think he maybe just been put off. He thought the keeper was going to get a touch on it, and he didn't. You can see he's frustrated. Got an excellent contact there. You know, 6 inches left of that post, and nobody would have got near it. But you sense that the game needs that, doesn't it? It needs to open up. And it might just spark the game into life. That.
Just beyond the half-hour mark. Uruguay 0, Ecuador 0. Sosa. Dario Silva just able to pick out Forlan. The sense that Uruguay just intend to raise the tempo a little bit. Forlan unlucky, denied by Hurtado.
That's a lack of quality. It's a good long ball played into the front man. I think it was Silva really who had the target of Forlan, who'd made the run to join him. And it's a standard header really that should go into his path. He didn't get it right, Silva, and all of a sudden the danger's gone.
The tin man you saw there is Agustin Delgado. That's much better. Terrific pull down as well by Bueno. Christian Rodriguez. And by Forlan. Varela. Lesko has come away with the ball. Still no great injection of pace when Ecuador do have the chance to get forward, and De La Cruz there took his eye off the ball. Might have been beaten by a strange bobble. There's the coach who's under pressure just at this moment in time. Delgado! Angle wasn't quite right for him.
It wasn't a bad effort, it was a decent ball. He had a choice to have a touch here or do a go for the shot. He felt he could get the shot on target, he got the power. His weaker left side.
It's not a particularly compact stadium, even though it holds around 25,000. Authorities in Peru are delighted that the Copa America is being played here. It's given them the chance to invest some money in their football stadiums. Many of them dated and old and in need of repair. That's part of £4 million was made available. Vega to pick out De La Cruz. There's another rather hopeful cross into the penalty area.
I think you're right, Tony. I think again on the far post there, he just was a little bit more composure. He did have a target out there. Delgado had pulled away on that far post.
In Ecuador's defence, they are currently without Carlos Tenorio, who was looking good in World Cup qualifying, but who's currently on the injured list and is unavailable for this tournament. Ivan Caviedes is another one who's currently out injured. Fossati knows a thing or two about some of these players for Ecuador. He's recently left the LDU club, who did terrifically well in the Copa Libertadores, the South American Club Championship. Indeed, 7 of the squad are from Fossati's old club in Ecuador. IDU reaching the last 16 before they lost to the Brazilians Santos. These are tactics you normally see in the last 5 minutes, not 10 minutes before half-time.
Wasn't done too bad. 11, Uruguay on this left-hand side. Rodriguez. Not got a lot of guile, but he's willing to run, isn't he? You know, he's a bit of desire about what he's trying to do.
As a newcomer to the squad, he's only 18 years of age. He plays for Penarol. This is only his 3rd appearance. And again, the goalkeeper is struggling. Whistle has gone. Forlan denied. Handshakes for Ibarra. A sense of relief in that Ecuador penalty area. But the approach was slightly different.
Awkward delivery, wasn't it? Really a low delivery. Cleared off the line. Forlan's obviously been done really for that reckless kick on Schala. But that's looked the most likely route, hasn't it, for a goal for them?
2 corner kicks, and 2 decent chances for Uruguay. The first, that header from Montero, which thudded against the inside of the post and came out. Rodriguez with a cross. Goalkeeper punches clear. A great deal of distance on that. And the first half has passed Alex Aguinaga by, the 36-year-old, brought back for his 108th cap. Forlan. Oh, terrific attempt by Diego Forlan. Wonderful turn. And the shot dipping just over the top of the crossbar.
Wasn't too far away. Tight situation, took it with his left foot. Thought he was going to try and maybe flick it over the shoulder there. He decided to go for the shot. He took it high, didn't he? So it was always going to be very difficult to keep the ball down. But he wasn't too far away.
Christian Rodriguez is the player down.
Good work down the left-hand side by Rodriguez. Knocked it one side, got it the other. And got a knock for his trouble as well. Put it into the danger zone. He did well for once, didn't he, the keeper? Ibarra coming and punching one away. But certainly won't want to see him come off, but I think he's looked the most likely, I'd say, to supply or inject something into this game that maybe a lot of the players don't look like they're capable of.
Christian Rodriguez off to receive further attention. Seemed to twist his left knee then as he fell under the weight of that challenge from De La Cruz.
De La Cruz is definitely a fullback who likes to get forward rather than defend. You know, if Rodriguez can actually get him one-on-one. I think when you've gone round somebody as easy as he did there to De La Cruz, I think it always just puts a question mark over the defender. Gives you the initiative in the duel.
Ecuador playing with a back line of 3. Now they have 5 forward with this attack. He fell rather late then. Now there's a game of push and shove going on. Uruguay clearly annoyed that they feel that Ulysses De La Cruz was looking for the free kick then. Well, it hasn't exactly been a fiery first half, but now we have the best part of 18 players involved in this little dispute.
But it was a foul. I think he dragged it back onto his left foot, didn't he? And there was a tug. He went down a little late, De La Cruz, but it was definitely a foul. No need for all of this, though. I think De La Cruz actually jumped up, wasn't too happy. Somebody kicked the ball into him when he was on the floor. He reacted angrily, and then all of a sudden, this is the tug there. He goes down a little late. But Montero, I think, is trying to kick the ball away. Catches him on the shin. He's not too happy with it. De La Cruz jumps up, reacts.
I think he was annoyed that Dario Rodriguez seemed to stamp on his ankle then, but Montero also got involved, and he has to be careful, having already been cautioned. Well, definitely. I mean, he's left his foot on top of his left ankle. The system hasn't got the benefit of a replay, though. And no action is taken against Dario Rodriguez. Ecuador do, however, have the free kick. Bueno with Forlan in the wall. Aguinaldo gets a second chance. And this time, Ecuador have the throw.
You expect more, don't you, of Aguinaldo there? You know, he's really not had much of the ball. You get a free kick in a position, really, that a player of his calibre should be able to put some danger on offer for some of his strikers to take advantage of.
And he's regarded as the midfield playmaker, the inspiration, the man who pulls all the strings. Forlan sent crashing to the ground. Espinosa has been sticking tightly to him whenever he's threatened.
I think he's looked pretty good for that as well, Tony. You can see his touches there, you know, in that situation there, and the shot that he got away. You know, he's two-footed there, takes the ball in his stride, gets it out of his feet. You know, I think if they can get the ball to him more often, he might also be the main man to bring us a goal in this game.
Significant that Christian Rodriguez has gone across to take this left-footed. He'll be able to drive one in, whip one across the penalty area, but he doesn't look too comfortable following that collision with De La Cruz earlier in this first half. It is Rodriguez. And a header over the top by Bizarra. Unmarked inside the 6-yard area.
Excellent ball played in. But all the 6s and 7s, you know, they've got obviously a man on the line there as well. Salsa was the man on the line, wasn't he? And I think some of them are trying to play offside there, Tony. Some of them have gone with runners, and in the end it was a free header. It looks like he has given a free kick. Somebody did stray offside.
I'm not too sure if it was for offside or if there was some pushing in the penalty area as the ball was delivered. But Uruguay will take some encouragement from the success they've had from set pieces, 2 corners and a free kick. And the through ball there that's very nearly deceived Ibarra. Varela. Bizarra. Now the skipper Montero. Here's Forlan. Dario Rodriguez. Brilliantly footed there. Driven long again by Montero. Drawn by Silva. Bueno prepared to chase.
Well, he's going to that position a few times, hasn't he, Vieira? And really, you know, once he gets there, into that sort of position, you've got to make the most of it. He just put his foot through the ball without really giving it any thought.
Bueno again prepared to put himself about.
Uruguay have definitely looked the more likely, haven't they? Really, Ecuador have not shown anything, not at all in the first half. You know, maybe the odd moment really from Delgado. Although they haven't cut through Ecuador, they've certainly had the better possession, Uruguay.
Jorge Basati would be delighted with the way in which the Uruguay squad have applied themselves here in Peru. Coming back to snatch that draw against Mexico in their opening fixture. Big one's still to come, of course. They've got to play Argentina yet. And by Silva. And by Varela. Dario Silva has been around quite a bit in Europe over the years. He's played in Italy, he's currently in Spain with Sevilla. He also had spells with Malaga and Espanyol. Actually made his international debut 10 years ago.
Seen a flash of Silva there, Tony. It's like he's begging for service, isn't it? You know, the ball was overhit. He's made a good run. Not been any of it in the first half, really, for either set of strikers.
Well, the half-time whistle blows. You have to say that Uruguay had the better of the first half. They created the better openings. They also thumped a header against a post. Ecuador created so little during the opening 45 minutes. Uruguay had the better opportunities. Ecuador certainly will be looking for more from Alex Aguinaga, who here plays his 108th game for his country at the age of 36. Celebrated his birthday just yesterday. He's equalled the all-time record of appearances at the Copa America. This is the 8th tournament that he's played in. He now shares a record previously held by Angel Romer, who won 6 titles in 8 tournaments with Uruguay between 1916 and 1928. It's Ecuador who get this second half underway. And it's Aguinaga who's quickly on the ball. Picking out Tenorio. Positive opening this by Uruguay. Quickly working the ball forward. Werner, who was very lively in the opening 45 minutes, Alvin.
Yeah, and I think you know, looking at what they've got to do in the second half, certainly Uruguay have to up the tempo a little. I think they had the better of it, and certainly when they get into the areas in there and around the edge of the box and near the byline, they've just got to be a little more thoughtful, and they've got to put better quality balls in there. I think otherwise, you know, they'd have maybe had the lead before now, but like I said, they've done well to get into certain areas without making the most of it with their delivery.
They lost their opening game 6-1. Ecuador will be happier at least that they've kept Uruguay at bay. And if they have needed the help and assistance of the inside of a post, is Delgado. Strike from a long way out. Mendes who was following up then.
It was worth a go. Obviously their priority there was to keep the ball down. Wasn't able to do that. Certainly somebody I think that Gomez, the Ecuador coach, will be keeping his eye on is Aguinaga, because I think really he's been a passenger, hasn't he, for the first 45. He's got Salas on the bench. When I've seen him, he actually comes on, he'll run with the ball, have a little bit of energy about him. So I think he needs to produce the number 10 for Ecuador to stay on the pitch.
And certainly Salas is one for the future. He's just 22. He plays for LDU Quito, who reached the last 16 of the Copa Libertadores. He was also part of the Ecuador squad that was eliminated in Olympic qualifying. They lost a penalty shootout against Paraguay. That tournament was held in January, but Salas did enough to suggest that he's ready for the move up to full international level. Corner then to Uruguay, who had 3 corners in the first half. Whipped in by Rodriguez. The ball just hanging there in the air. Ibarra gathers safely. Silva's header.
Well, he should do better. You know, it's ridiculous that he's got that amount of space in the 6-yard box, and you know, he knows he should do better. It's not a great ball, to be honest, put in by Rodriguez. He didn't whip it in like he normally does, but to find Silva there unmarked with a free opportunity at goal is ridiculously bad defending.
The weather conditions in Peru at this time of year can be rather unpredictable. We had humidity yesterday, 90% humidity. It's been a much fresher day, and the breeze is getting up here. See there with that corner kick that was again hanging in the air, giving Barbat less trouble than the one which Rodriguez took at the other end. Free kick to Uruguay.
Good play by Forlan. But he wasn't favoured to win that ball down the left. He used his strength. The Premiership's helped him in that department. Cut inside, played a nice ball, and then the block was on. It's given them a decent area to put a ball in from here.
He also reached for his yellow card then. It might have been Charla who was cautioned. And by Buena. Easy there for Ibarra.
It wasn't a great ball in, Tony, but I'd still want to see somebody at least making a challenge on Ibarra. You know, I've seen he's susceptible to crossers in the first half. And to come and claim one without any pressure on you like that, it's just not on.
There finally is confirmation of the yellow card. It was to number 17, Giovanni Espinosa. Espinosa playing at his second Copa America. Just a reminder that it's Mexico against Argentina next. Two fixtures today on the same pitch, as was the case yesterday in Lima. Another long ball forward by Montero. Uruguay still short of ideas. Forlan looking for the free kick. Montero very assured. Knocked out by Varela. Varela and Dario Rodriguez, who both play in Germany, both with Schalke. Forlan again, seeing a lot of the ball in the second half. Options for Forlan inside that penalty area. Varela's cross. Now there's potential. And they're looking for a handball. Are they on the edge of the penalty area? It was the shot from Christian Rodriguez, which was charged down there. Mendes back and just trying to make the block. Sorry, Alvin.
It was a good ball played in there, you know, and I think Bueno really had a header down to Silva. He'd made the run inside him. He tried to flick the ball on, and well, they ended up getting a free kick here. If it had seen the run with Silva, it would have been in penalty spot, one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
He is right on the edge of that penalty area.
Didn't really see too much wrong with that. I thought it was a 50-50 challenge.
Curious decision, but it's given Uruguay possibilities here. Forlan currently in discussion just over the ball. Dario Rodriguez joining the end of the defensive wall. Bueno, Dario Silva also with Forlan. Ibarra on his toes, just making sure that the angles are right. The debate continues. Surely they've worked it out by now. They're getting increasingly twitchy. Bueno, deflected and gathered by Ibarra.
Well, he's lucky Ibarra. The deflection didn't take it into one of the corners. Went straight at him.
Goalkeeper has to be back on his toes quickly once more. Ecuador surrendering possession far too cheaply.
They've come out the better in the second half again, haven't they, Uruguay? At the moment, really, Ecuador not really having any threat going forward. Can't relieve the pressure on their defence because they're not keeping the ball. It's the deflection that goes straight for him about it.
They seem to just put their Tenorio on the shoulder. Corner then to Ecuador. And by the skipper is Forlan.
The referee's being calm there, Tony. He's playing for that, he got it. Hardly any contact here whatsoever. He goes down, wanted the free kick.
Tenorio knew exactly what he was doing. 10 minutes to the second half play. Hurtado with the free kick. Baraya to head clear. Riasco. Delgado just ahead of it. Abrego. Wonderful attempt for Chala.
And he does well here. Fabregon, a good ball really. From Riasco. When the ball eventually falls to him, wasn't too far away. Had Barbat scrambling across the goal. But we've rarely seen any real threat from him over Ecuador. That's the first for a long, long while. I can't remember him being troubled too often, Barbat.
No, by far Uruguay have had the better opportunities. Still no pace to the game either, is there? Uruguay want to make a substitution. Christian Rodriguez is going off. He took a knock in the first half when he managed to drive in one of those left-footed crosses of his. He fell heavily under the weight of a challenge from Ulises de la Cruz. Will Uruguay now change their approach? Vicente Sanchez is the player who's come on. Sanchez, who was on the bench for the opening game, the 2-2 draw with Mexico. He plays his club football in Mexico. His international debut in a World Cup qualifying against Ecuador back in 2001. Varela then with the free kick. Strong header clear, but only as far as the edge of that penalty area. Puso prepared to scrap. De la Cruz. On by Delgado, who's playing just behind the front two, it seems, at the moment. Sosa. It stayed in play, but Ecuador have won it back, if only briefly. Uruguay playing with three at the back in the first half and encouraging Varela to get forward. Now it seems to be a four as opposed to a three. De la Cruz prepared to take on Dario Rodriguez, but he left the ball behind. Ecuador didn't win any of their first 33 games in the Copa America. They finally enjoyed success against Colombia. They won that one 4-1. They went to the semi-finals back in 1993. They lost a penalty shootout to Mexico. They beat Uruguay on the way. They reached the quarterfinals in 1997. Again, they were beaten by Mexico. They struggled to make the last 8 here.
There's no doubt about it, Tony. The game's lack quality tonight, isn't it? You know, and, you wonder where the goal is going to come from. Is it going to be a mistake? Is it going to be somebody pulling something special out the bag individually?
You sometimes wonder if coaches look at the fixture list and realise that these two countries will meet in World Cup qualifying in September. Don't want to give too much away. Stumble there on the edge of the penalty area. The crowd are beginning to lose interest. They're impatient for Mexico versus Argentina. Riasco's determination enough to win the corner kick. Easy again for Barbat. I think the goalkeeper would have had more to do if he was involved in a training session.
Well, certainly Ecuador haven't really given him too much to do. And I think looking at the group, you would expect maybe Ecuador to finish bottom. I think it's important that Uruguay look at getting all 3 points from this game.
Uruguay have made another change. Lau is now on. Straight swap with Montero going off. Montero cautioned early in the game, and as was mentioned at half-time, perhaps fortunate to stay on at half-time following a clash with Ulises de la Cruz. It appeared that Montero kicked out at de la Cruz while Dario Rodriguez stamped on it. Forlan. Oh, magnificent goal! Goal from absolutely nothing by Diego Forlan. What a hit that was! Well, he said he wanted to play in South America because he wanted to rediscover some sharpness. Well, that was razor sharp.
Well, it looked like he was looking for somebody to pass to for a while. He ran and ran. In the end, he's thrown his left foot at the ball. I'd like to see the position here of Ibarra. What is he doing? What is he doing? It's a good strike, there's no doubt about it, but really, it's not that far away from him. And he looks like he's been taken by surprise more than anything, but it's a good strike, and you have to give credit to Forlan for trying his luck from there. But that goes down as a goalkeeper mistake for me.
Well, he didn't get much of a look in at Manchester United last season, but at international level, he is flying.
Well, certainly doing the world of good, Tony, you know, confidence-wise. You know, I think he's looked quite sharp without looking really full of confidence. And he's certainly been a step ahead of the other players on the pitch today. You know, he got the shot away, didn't he, in the first half? Controlled it with his left foot, got it away with his right. And, you know, again, with a lack of service that he's had to endure, I think he's done quite well tonight.
He's got 9 goals in 18 internationals. He's joint top scorer for Uruguay in World Cup qualifying. They've conceded 19, but they've also scored 12. But they're still one off the bottom of the South American qualifying group. If they want to repeat their successes in 2002 when they got to Korea and Japan, there's plenty of work to be done. They do have a new coach. And the coach will take encouragement from the way in which the team has performed in Peru. Showed their fighting qualities when they came back to draw 2-2 with Mexico, even though they were reduced to 10 men. Now is the substitute sent off barely 2 minutes after coming on. Now ahead here against Ecuador. Casato took over from Juan Ramon Carrasco back in March. Said that he wanted to use this tournament to try out a few new ideas. And defensively, they've tightened up. They still haven't been able to create a great deal, and it needed that moment of inspiration from Diego Forlan, perhaps to just open this game up. Not going to see the injury, but we are going to see the goal. There's plenty of bend on that one, I think.
Yeah, it was bobbling around before he hit it, Tony. I think it just popped up beautifully just before he made contact with it, and that's give it that dip, really. that may have found Ibarra wanting, but yeah, again, I still feel he should do better with it. But credit to him, he was willing to have a go from that range. He said that the game needed a goal. It's had it. Be interested to see how they react now, Ecuador, because they haven't showed any real intent, have they, in terms of attacking Uruguay. Now they're going to have to. It'll be interesting to see if it opens the game up, makes it more entertaining.
Varela is back on his feet, and Ecuador have now made another change. And it's Salas who's come on. He's replaced Tenorio. Edwin Tenorio, that is. Salas, the striker from the LDU Quito club, just 22. And as a substitute in the opening game, and a player who caught your eye, Alvin.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that has got a little bit of pace to his game, and it's something that they have been lacking all night, really, isn't it?
The long-range effort, this one from Varela. Isn't his favourite foot. Aguinaga really has been quiet, hasn't he, for Ecuador? I think possibly the coach will want to leave him on and see if he can actually supply a service to the likes of, of Delgado and Salas, further up the field. Likes to pop deep, doesn't he? And obviously, if you've got these players on who have got a certain amount of drive and ability, you want to be able to get the ball to him. And the experienced playmaker in Ecuador is that man. See if he can do it. So a glimpse briefly there of Riasco, who was shown a yellow card for that challenge on Varela. Varela okay though after treatment. Sosa. De La Cruz doubling up there with Edison Mendes. Here's Salas. By Forlan. Bueno. Forlan in support. Just trying to dig the shot out, then went for goal when perhaps Diego Forlan was better placed.
Absolutely. A little ball to his right there. Would have allowed Forlan to either stop it, play a little give and go, or get the shot away from a better angle with less pressure on it as well. Interesting to see what they do now, Uruguay. Will they sit back, try and defend that one goal lead, or will they continue to try and search and look at exploiting maybe Ecuador coming back at them a little?
Salas keen to get involved. It's too long for Delgado. Uruguay do want to make another change. Diego Perez is chatting to the coach on the touchline. Salas. Riasco. Riasco once more. Dragon. Steadied himself for the shot then. They haven't given up hope just yet.
Excellent challenge by Sosa, wasn't it, on the edge of the box? But they showed that they can pop the ball about there, Ecuador. Certainly looked better, haven't they, since Salas come on as well. He's willing to hold on to the ball.
Diego Forlan is now going off, having given Uruguay the lead. Diego Perez is coming off. Aguinaga. Easily played by Barbata, but the flag had been raised by the assistant on the far side. now playing much deeper. Play by Leo. Sanchez. Good run that by Sanchez, one of the 3 Uruguayan substitutes in this second half. Delgado. And by Becerra, who's now switched to the left of that back line. Here's Perez, just on as a substitute. Leicester at the moment with nowhere to go. Sosa.
¡Bola, sobra, bola! ¡Solo aquí!
Ecuador with an opportunity now to build steadily from the back. Sanchez has looked lively since coming on. Came off the bench against Mexico. Sorry, Alvin.
They've never really looked in danger, have they? You know, they've gone a goal up. Probably marking a little deeper than they should be, Uruguay, but you sense that at this moment in time, Ecuador is searching for something special that isn't there. You know, Delgado maybe is a threat.
Could be an opportunity here for Salas. Prepared to take on Varela.
Sometimes an example there, Tony. You don't always have to create anything in football. Sometimes it's given to you. And there was a terrible misjudgment on the edge of the box. Salas gets into an area where really he might be able to do some damage.
Gomez is the coach who's currently prowling around the technical area, the Ecuador coach. He led Colombia to the World Cup in 1998 and Ecuador to the World Cup in 2002. Big surprise that they qualified. Big surprise if they make the last 8 of the Copa America in 2004. And by Sosa, much too long for Bueno. Here's Sanchez. Chalo giving De La Cruz some help. Sanchez managed to elude both of them.
He's worked hard, hasn't he? Sosa tonight. Perhaps you know, not the nicest on the eye, not the prettiest on the eye, but he certainly gets through a lot of work for Uruguay. And as you said there, Sanchez on that left-hand side, looks like he's got quick feet, willing to go past people on the edge of the box. Look the threat since he come on.
Aguinaldo, options both right and left. This was just played in behind Delgado. Salas was quick off the mark, but not quick enough. De La Cruz. Salas! Oh, they've got an equaliser, and it's the substitute, Franklin Salas. It's a goal that they don't really deserve, but this game has been turned on its head. Franklin Salas off the bench, and he's scored the equalising goal.
But he hasn't really got forward, has he, down the right-hand side? De La Cruz, for once, he does get forward. Playing for a penalty there. It falls beautifully to Salas, keeps his head down, keeps the ball down, gets a little lucky. Might have been a claim for a penalty there. But it's a good finish for them. They don't deserve it, as you said, Tony. But 1-0, you're always in the game.
Salas overjoyed to get that goal. 22 years of age, one of the newcomers to the Ecuador squad. Well, that might liven things up for the last 15 minutes or so. And Ibarra, the goalkeeper, doing his best to liven things up, just giving the ball away there. Careless goal kick, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and then, you know, it looked like they got out of trouble, and then the defender on that right-hand side should give the ball away again.
His nickname is El Diablo, the devil. Bit of devilment there. Pleased to get the ball away. Perez with a cross. Ball has stayed in. Ibarra grateful to hold on. Pizarro's header. Well, we mentioned earlier in the second half that the conditions were rather awkward. There's a stiff breeze blowing across the pitch towards us. And again, another cross which was hanging in the air. I'm sure everyone in the Ecuador defence thought that that ball had drifted out.
Yeah, he's done well on the far post to actually keep it in play, and Pizarro really just went for power, didn't he? Again, straight at Ibarra. Perhaps he'd have been better actually just trying to pick a corner out.
Varela takes a tumble. It's put there by Salas. You can see it again. It was a free header for Pizarro.
Yeah, he went for power, and really he should have been picking out one of the corners. I think it was actually an Ecuador defender who actually played the ball back into the danger zone for Uruguay there. But you can tell by his reaction he feels he should have done better.
The equalising goal has certainly lifted the crowd here. It's lifted a big crowd, a crowd of about 25,000 who will doubtless stay on for the other fixture. You could see here on Sky Sports, Argentina against Mexico is next. Perez. Sosa goes down. Uruguay have the free kick.
Good play again by Sosa. Read where the ball was going to be played, nicked it, played it, and then went on his way. He hadn't been brought down, and I'm sure he could have supplied a dangerous cross for Uruguay there. Obvious booking.
Yellow card for Chala. Now 33. Kleber Chala, who briefly had a time with Southampton alongside Agustin Delgado. This is fourth Copa America. But still not happy. Wall stood firm. Perez was following up. If anything, you feel that Fossati, the Uruguay coach, will sit down afterwards and maybe analyse this performance and think that his team still haven't created a great deal. They've been fairly solid at the back, but there again, there hasn't been much of a threat from Ecuador.
No,
they haven't gone out and created too much.
I think from the word go as well, Tony, they've dominated possession, haven't they? But you know, it's all about what you do with your possession. You know, once you get around the final third, you need a little subtlety, you need some movement, you need to be able to, you know, to actually bring home some quality, and they've been lacking quality really in the final third. You know, the possession-wise, a better team, and the likes of Argentina, I'm sure would have created 5 or 6 very good chances tonight. But really, it's only the one long-range shot, isn't it? From Forlan that got them the first goal. Montero's hit the post. I can't remember too many other chances were another header that really he should have done better with Pizarro. But really, apart from that, you know, it's disappointing, the end product.
Varela goes down again. It's the equalising goal scored by Salas. Ganaga had taken a tumble inside the penalty area, as Alvin mentioned. They may have had a shout for a penalty. It's Salas who's tracking back here, but who hasn't been able to get in a challenge as Sanchez crosses. And Uruguay are back in front. It's Bueno. Sanchez, the provider that time, on as a substitute, easily away from Salas. Back to the drawing board for him.
And we talked about delivering once you get into the important areas. He certainly did that. He put a ball into the danger zone, begging to be hit. It was challenged. He got a little lucky that it fell down to Uruguayan on the edge of the box. It's a good strike, and he didn't see it till later, Vera, but wasn't able to deflect it away from the danger zone. It's a good strike. He gets it away so early, doesn't he? Catches it on the volley, and he's there. Bueno, an easy tap in for him. And no one can say that they don't deserve to be 2-1 up.
Yeah, a silver shot, which the goalkeeper managed to get a hand to. Bueno doing what all good strikers do, following up and getting his second goal at this Copa America. Scored the first against Mexico. And he's got the second against Uruguay. He's had a good year. Plays for Peñarol. He scored 5 goals in 5 games in the Copa Libertadores. And now he's got 5 in 10 at international level. He was one of the players who perhaps wouldn't have had a look in had Uruguay called on all their European stars. Walter Pandiani of Deportivo La Coruña, one of those missing.
He's got his goal one over there. I think his all-round game tonight probably has been poor, isn't it? You know, you haven't really seen too much of him. Now again, I always hasten to add that the service into the front has not been good for either side tonight, so you're always up against it with a tight marking.
Bueno with the tap-in. Set up by Vicente Sanchez. They have been more adventurous since they made the substitutions.
Well, certainly Sanchez is offered a lot, you know. And when he gets in the areas, that's the encouraging thing, Tony, and that's what the game's been lacking, is that he always looks like he's got a ball that he's actually thinking about, and he's looking at finding somebody. He doesn't panic when he gets into the right areas. You know, up to the stage that he actually arrived, I think players were getting into decent areas, but just actually hopefully putting the ball in instead of actually making something happen.
In fairness, they've got more experience than Christian Rodriguez, the 18-year-old, who is here really for international experience. First to take a tumble there. Has followed him to the turf. However, have the free kick. The Uruguayan coach said that he was satisfied with the performance against Mexico. He said that there is some improvement there after what has been a disastrous year for them. Lost their opening 4 games this year. They were beaten by Jamaica in a friendly, defeat by Venezuela in World Cup qualifying, and they lost to Peru and Colombia as well. Although last year they drew 3-3 with Brazil, and they thrashed Bolivia, who are currently bottom of the table, 5-0. He's got plenty of protection. All those blue shirts in there. Salas. Wonderful play by Salas. Just didn't have enough in the box there, Ecuador. And a lazy volley by Delgado.
Good play again, wasn't it? By Salas, who's looked lively. Good ball. It was good defending, I have to say, as well. By Polso there, stopping the man on the far post, getting onto that ball. The goal again.
Donov is now on for Ecuador. Close to the rather ineffectual Edison Mendes.
Darío mano a mano, Darío mano a mano.
Setting up to the edge of his technical area. Happy with the challenge.
Al lado suyo, señor.
Silva winces. Just had his ankles cut then as he skipped away from the challenge. Salas. That was neatly done. Barbat out to claim.
He's done well there, Barbat. Come a long way for that. Seen the danger very early. Good goalkeeping.
Yes, Barbat, now aged 36. Only playing here because the first choice Fabien Carini is injured. Carini, who plays in Belgium, having just recovered from knee surgery. He has returned to South America, but hasn't been considered for either of the opening two games. And you wonder if he'll get his chance in the last game, which for Uruguay is such a big game. It's against Argentina.
Oh, this also went down a little easy for me there. Didn't fancy the race, did he, with De La Cruz?
Silva. Varela. And again towards Silva. Just unable to take advantage there of a header on by Diego Perez. Ricardo. Aguinaga. It was raised for an offside. Alex Aguinaga has been a big disappointment. He is very much the hero of football followers in Ecuador.
And unfortunately, the years catch up, don't they, Tony? You know, that half a yard's gone. I don't think he's playing in a great side. I think, to be fair, both sides have worked hard, but they look like two sides at the moment, just lacking a little confidence individually and also as a unit.
Aguinaga is Ecuador's second most capped player. At the age of 36, 108 appearances. Even Ricardo here, at the age of 29, has played 112 times. It's a phenomenal record. Aguinaga. The idea was perhaps right, just trying to slip the ball in behind the two defenders at the middle of the Uruguayan defence then. There's no doubt that Gomez, the Ecuador coach, looks rather world-weary just at the moment. He hasn't had an easy time in charge. He took over in 1999. He was actually shot at a couple of years later by a club president. And that was because he didn't pick Dalu Bucaran, who's the son of a now fugitive ex-president of Ecuador.
Now that's pressure.
That is pressure. It wasn't for the first team, it was only the youth team. But everyone who follows football in South America is passionate one way or another. And at times we have to question some of the passion which we've seen in this game. It's been a better second half, probably.
Yeah, it has. And we've seen goals, obviously. I wasn't too hopeful at half-time. I must admit, Tony, that we'd see any, but we've seen 3 goals, so it has lifted.
Ecuador just look a little bit dispirited now. Such a lift when they got that equalising goal scored by Salas. But they were level for barely 5 minutes before Carlos Bueno made it 2-1 again to Uruguay. And here they come again with Sanchez. Oh, it was being held off then.
See what the coach thinks.
There's a forearm to the chest. I think it was Bueno who broke into the penalty area. Riesca. Salas takes a tumble, and this time there is a free kick. Now, should there have been a penalty here?
Well, certainly there was obstruction there, and his left elbow comes up, catches him on the chin. Again, I think it's the theatrical way that he goes down that sometimes gets players, you know, a negative response from the referee.
Forward by Perez. And again by Perez.
They strike me, Ecuador, as an off-the-cuff team. You know, there doesn't seem to be a plan, does there? They go out there and hope that somebody is going to do something in terms of individual and turn the game.
By Salas. Leo to head clear. To have 3 extra minutes. There's still time, perhaps, for Ecuador.
I think when Gomez looks at the tape of this game as well, I think he'll feel that he should have had Salas on a little earlier, Tony.
That's very sharp. Ball again just hanging in the air. You can see the flag of the assistant on the far side. They're fully stretched. Deep into that penalty area. Leo's headed clearance. Uruguay have the throw, and they're in no hurry to take this throw in now. Gomez, the Ecuador coach, has said that he looks for spontaneity in the team. That's the very point you made, Alvin. They look as though they play it off the cuff at times, but you do need some discipline.
Yeah, I think they're coming in to this game on the back of a massive defeat as well, and that would, I'm sure, have damaged morale, confidence.
So Uruguay now looking for their first win at Copa America 2004, following their 2-2 draw with Mexico. 90 seconds for Ecuador to try and save this. Beaten in their opening game 6-1 by Argentina. Hammered in their opening game by Argentina. Playing with a bit more fight here. Salas, prepared to take on the world, it seems. They've won another corner kick. Lots of pressure late on here from Ecuador. More of the police helicopter above. Massive crowd here, some 25,000 packed in. Argentina, Mexico next up. Salas is looking for the free kick. And there's a break on here for Uruguay. Here's Silva. Bueno making his way forward. Sanchez also in there. And that was wasted.
Coach's nightmare, that is, Tony. You know, just want the clock to run down. You're in control, and a player does something so silly as that. It's so infuriating when you're watching your side play.
Uruguay have given the ball away again. De La Cruz. Challenge by Leo. Well, this is their last chance. They'll need to get the ball back into that Uruguay penalty area. De La Cruz goes down. Ecuador do have one last chance. He's the last-minute winner in one of the games last night. Able to get a last-minute equaliser here. Driven in by Salas. Away by Silva. Back to help his defence out. Gathered by Barbat. And that is it. Uruguay follow up their draw against Mexico with a win, a 2-1 win, a goal for Manchester United's